Hi everyone, it's me again, ready to talk about the good and the great in the world of geek. You know me by now. My name is Hubert A. Short. It's probably showing up somewhere there right now. I'm probably going to fix this in post-production anyway. So, what's been going on in the world of geek this week? Got some very interesting stories, so I suppose we'd better check them out right now. Now, I'm sure over the past few years, you've heard of this thing called the Snyder Cut. Now, this is a story coming from Ars Technica, but it's a long time coming. It really is. So as you can see, finally, the Snyder Cut is going to be released on HBO Max, a new service, a streaming service that launches in the US very soon. Now, as the story says, after years of fan demands and then months of rumors and teases, the news is official. The 2017 DC Comics film Justice League is returning as a director's cut. That's Zack Snyder's cut. Now, I don't know, but let's be real about this. It was an okay film. I don't know if any kind of editing is going to make it anything more than just an okay film. The Snyder Cut, what is that? That's just someone else editing it. Yes, you can change the tone of a film in the edit. In fact, there's a very famous video on YouTube about how Star Wars was saved in the edit. There is some merit to that, I'm sure, but as to whether the Snyder Cut is going to be this fantastic thing that saves this film, I'm very skeptical about it. That being said, if I get the opportunity to see it, I'll give a critique of it. We will see, but I have to say I'm a little pessimistic about all of that. Now, our next story is all about everyone's favorite Jedi, and I'm not talking about ObiWan Kenobi. I'm talking about Ahsoka Tano. Now, she literally saved the Clone Wars. If you've seen the final series on Disney Plus, you'll know what I'm talking about. Many people have said that final season actually played such an important role, it effectively saved the prequels. Anyway, according to Geek Tyrant, we can see that there is this talk about Ahsoka Tano turning up in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series starring Ewan McGregor, and even, this is the interesting one, developing her own show. That would be something. Maybe she could, do a buddy film with Rex. You remember Rex as one of the clone troopers that she saved. Anyway, very early days. I think it's probably more likely that she's going to turn up in the Ewan McGregor series rather than her own show. What we do know is that she will be in season 2 of The Mandalorian, which is something to look forward to, and that Rosario Dawson is apparently playing her. She looks a lot like the character, and that's all good news. So actually, I think this is good news all round. As always, if you want more information, then just check out that particular site. Great news there, I think. Now, I'm sure you heard of this comedy that was developed by Netflix following the rather interesting announcement by the current president of the United States. Well, the interesting thing about Space Force, which launches soon, is that it's developed by the creator of the American version of The Office, Greg Daniels, although the British version is far superior, but never mind. And it stars Steve Carell, if you know, or if you didn't know, I should say, was the star of the American Office. Now, we all know it's a crazy concept, and as you can see from the blurb here, a decorated pilot with dreams of running the Air Force, 4-star General Mark Naird is thrown for a loop when he finds himself tapped to lead the newly formed 6th branch of the US Armed Forces, Space Force. Skeptical but dedicated, Mark uproots his family and moves to a remote base in Colorado, where he and a colorful team of scientists and spacemen are tasked by the White House with getting American boots on the moon again in a hurry and achieving total space dominance. Cue the laughter. You can see it's got a very impressive cast list, though, that includes John Malkovich and Lisa Kudrow. My favorite, Ben Schwartz. You remember him as Rufio from Parks and Recreation, and a couple of other characters as well. It sounds like it could be funny, but we'll just have to wait and see. Space Force. Chewie. Anyway, moving on to the next story. We have I'll try that again. We've got Timothy Oliphant. That's very, very hard to say. Playing, well, not necessarily playing the Mandalorian, but apparently in season 2 of The Mandalorian, he will be wearing Mandalorian armor, and more specifically, that of Boba Fett. Now that's interesting. As you can see in the second paragraph there, the site reports that Oliphant is taking on the role of a character named Cobb Vanth, who was originally introduced in Chuck Wendig's Aftermath book series, which is canon apparently. He is a human that lived around the time of the Battle of Endor. He was once a slave but rose to become the self-appointed sheriff of Freetown on the planet of Tatooine. So we are going back to Tatooine, unfortunately, which is a bit sad because you do want to try and expand the Star Wars story as much as possible. But it is very interesting that he's going to be playing that sort of character, certainly a character he's used to. This, of course, follows on the news that Tamura Morrison is returning. I suppose he's returning to the role of the baddie. He's now supposed to be playing Boba Fett. How Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc is still beyond me, but apparently he's playing Boba Fett and he is back. So that is definitely something to look forward to. Very much looking forward to that, actually. Our last story is more of a technical story than anything else, actually. I don't know if you've ever heard or used PowerToys on Windows 10 or any version of Windows, actually. They've been around for a long time. Well, one particular feature, the Run Launcher, according to the Next Web, is a bit like macOS's Spotlight for Windows 10. Now, if you didn't know this already, when you press the Windows button and R, you open up the Run box, and then you can run or type in a command that you want to run from there. With this little utility that's built into Windows PowerToys, you can do the same thing, but you also have the ability, because of the history, and certainly you can see it from the screenshot here, to run various other applications, one at a time, of course. Very interesting. I've installed it and it works like a dream. If you've never tried the PowerToys, you really should. They're very, very good. Why they're not incorporated in the operating system is still beyond me. But there you go. Okay, well, that was our last story. So I think for now, we are going to leave it there. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can email us at sftgpodcast@gmail.com. You can download the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, just about any old podcast catcher that's out there. You can follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Pinterest. Just do a quick search. Try and say that again. Just do a very quick search of sci-fi geeks.com. My name is Hubert A. Shorter, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.